Hello friends, so welcome to our third tutorial. This is about Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the most commonly used communication methodology till date in IoT. So the project we are going to do is the most common one. We are using a DHT22 sensor which is sending temperature and humidity over Wi-Fi to a cloud server. And here's the dashboard. It is showing humidity, temperature, and I am also sending a random number. So why I'm sending the random number? Because if someone is not able to get a DHT22, they can just comment out the DHT22 part and generate a random number and send to the cloud. Okay, and this device is actually connecting to this using this mobile as a Wi-Fi hotspot and sending data, and you can see the data is in sync with what is displayed here. So you may or may not use the OLED display. I have the code for ESP32 and ESP8266 both. I will share them, so you can comment out the OLED code part also. So you may or may not use OLED and the DHT22. You can even send just a random number over Wi-Fi. Okay, so if you see, this device is going to sleep every 15 seconds and then wake up, collect the temperature and humidity, connect to my mobile phone. Okay, you see here one device connected and this is now gone. So once it is sent, this device goes to sleep, and now it is connecting. You see, again it will connect to, you see. So this is the hotspot. It's connecting to every 15 seconds. You can change this sleep time, sleep duration to save on battery, because this device is running on 4 batteries. Okay, so battery is of paramount interest in IoT. So the same thing I will do on Wish3 board, and you will do on Note MCU instead of 8266, and on Double Room 32 instead of ESP32. Okay, so I will now I am using one API services here, WiseThings API service. So I will show you how that is to be used, and also I will show how you create this dashboard. This is a proprietary dashboard by WiseThings. So it is very well customizable. Currently we have live data, and we are including this chart, etc. also. So I'll show you them in a video. So let us begin. I will first show you the API service, WiseThings API service, how it is to be used, and what are the APIs. So you can call them and use them. Okay, so let us begin with our API services. So this is how our API service work. This is the API documentation. I will share this with you. So it's very easy. You just need to have a internet connection in your laptop or desktop, and then open your browser and copy paste this. Okay, so this is how we send some data from device to our cloud server. So you first need to write api.wisethings.com, dev things API and question mark, and then you write your things name equal to. So you can assign any thing name to your device, and then after and you write your parameter and value pair. Okay, and then you press enter, and our device send you back with this kind of response. Okay, so now it means your data is recorded now. So what it says, the content is humidity 35 and thing name is my thing. C time is collection time. It is like when the data was recorded. If your device has got some real-time clock, it will send, it can send a time data as well. And how you can send it, it is there in API documentation. And P time is processing time, when our server received the data. So C time and P time should be ideally same, because collection and processing is just a difference of seconds. But sometimes your device is out of network, and it cache the data and send it later. So in that case, P time and C time is are different normally. So but when you plot a chart, you should know which data is of what actual reading time. So C time is required, but this is not a mandatory data. So if you look into this documentation, C time is not required, not mandatory. If you don't send any C time, we just record it as 00. So that is not a problem. So this is one. And how you so your device have sent this data. So how you will send this data, I will show you a code how your device can call this API and post a data. Okay, So say, so this is posted. Now you want to get your data back for this thing name, so you just use the same API and at the end just mention this: I am asking data for thing name is equal to my things, and you put strike enter and you get the last data posted by that device. Okay, so and you can also like post multiple parameters, like I can post and a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 2 and c is equal to 3, and you can post. So all three parameters will be recorded, and when you ask for your data, what is posted, last posted data for my things, you receive this. So this is how you retrieve your data from our cloud server. So, and you can build your own application, you can build your own API, so you can consume our API anywhere in your application or your dashboard. Okay, so what else I can show you here? So other thing is this. So if you are plotting some chart, you can ask for even historical data. So so say you want to plot a chart and you want last 3 data. So when asking for data for my things, you just add this count is equal to 3. So you want last 3 data from this device, so this will give you last 3 data, so in JSON format, and you can just parse it. Okay, so you can see 3 data are given to you. So just remember, when you are sending data from your device, don't use any parameter called count, because our server will think you are asking for historical data. Okay, so that is it. I will do something with that, so it might go as a bug, unknown bug to the user. Okay, so let us now get into the code. I'll show you the circuit later. Let us see the code first. Okay, so I have included the libraries required for this. These two are DHT library, this is for OLED library. So if you don't get these libraries or you don't compile, so you may omit the OLED and the DHT also, and you can only keep the random number and send it over Wi-Fi. Okay, so I am referring, so the code here I am showing you is for ESP8266. Okay, so ESP32 code is also same. The only difference is like their I2C data and clock pin numbers. Okay, so they are mentioned there. So let us now move into the code. So here are the libraries required. So and here are the here are the variables that we declared for temperature, humidity and random number, and this is the DHT library, and DHT pin is 14. Okay, so keep that in mind. Then this is for OLED display. If you don't want a display, you can just comment it out this whole part, and or you can keep it just like that, it doesn't matter. But if you don't compile, then you have to delete it. Okay, so and then you use your Wi-Fi hotspot ID and password here. Okay, you can use your mobile phone hotspot, so you can demo it anywhere. Okay, so then this is to call our API service. This is the host name, and this is the HTTPS port, and your device name goes here. So you can use any device name for the database server, but to use it in the dashboard, you can name them only WIS-tree 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so that is it. This part is for display. I won't explain it in here. So this is all the connecting to Wi-Fi, whether it connects or fails, so those kind of things. Okay, and we will also do the serial print. So I will show you the serial print when the device runs. Okay, so this is also display part, and then here is the temperature, humidity from DHT22, how we get the temperature. Okay, then I show you how to call the API in the browser. Okay, we just typed it out. So how our device can type it to the browser, it is that kind. So we are creating that string here, you can see. So host name, so it goes like api.wisethings.com. so that is the part of the host name that is already mentioned in the host name. Okay, so you need not mention that. So you need to create after that dev things API question mark things name is equal to, and you use device name, and the device name variable you have already defined as wistree 2. Okay, so we are now really actually emulating that what we typed in the browser. So we are gradually increasing the this, we call this URL a string actually. So if you put them together, plus is equal to plus is equal to, so it becomes like that API. We're calling that API with our device name and the parameters temperature, and is equal to temperature. The value will come from here, from the DHT reading. Okay, and this is in the loop. So every time these loops come, the first the device read the temperature, and then the humidity, and then the random number, and then it creates this string. Okay, temperature is equal to temp, humidity is equal to hum variable, and random number is equal to random variable, and then it post it. So it post it through, this is the posting happening is here. Okay, posting is happening here, and here is the reply rate, and then the device going to sleep, and it is ESP deep sleep going to for sleep time. Sleep time we define as I think 15 seconds. So you can see sleep time is defined as 15 seconds. So it is in microseconds, so e to the power 6 is actually 15 seconds. So this is how it works. Now I will go into the serial monitor. So what's happening there, let us see. So just remember, for ESP8266 for deep sleep to wake up, we need this reset. Okay, so what I'll do, I reset my device. Okay, and it is connecting to TP-Link, my home router, and it has got received this IP. Now it is connecting to the api.wisethings.com. so that is the API server. Okay, then it collected the temperature, humidity, and random number, and it requested this URL. It created that URL through that plus equal to and sent, request sent. Now it will receive the reply, and that will be shown here. Okay, so it received this reply. So the same reply that we saw in browser came here with C time 00 and P time recorded, and now device is going to sleep, and it is going to sleep for 15 seconds. So here is the circuit for ESP32 and ESP8266 both. So VCC to 3v3, ground to ground for both of them. You need not bother if you are using Node MCU and WM32, you just plug in your USB. Then pin number 14 is connected to DHT22 out, and OLED data and clock pin are connected to I2C pin of ESP8266, which is data is 4 and clock is 5, and it's different for ESP32, 21 and 22. Then this one thing, GPIO 16 connected to RST is required for deep sleep wake up in ESP8266. You need to connect it together. There is no such requirement for ESP32 though. And then you connect DHT22 plus to 3v3 and ground minus to ground, OLED VCC to 3v3 and OLED ground to ground. So this is about the circuit. Now let us see it working on ESP8266, and I will show also how to connect the GPIO 16 and reset so that it can wake up. So we have already done the project on ESP32. Now we'll try to do the same on ESP8266. So let us remove this and put a 8266 here. Okay, so when you are using ESP8266, remember one thing, you need to connect the GPIO 16 and reset pin of this chip in order to make it wake up from deep sleep. So for me it is easy. These two pins are broken out here and they are side by side, so I just put a jumper here. Okay, so when you do this on breadboard, just keep in mind, so we keep it here and then we switch this on. Okay, so this is switching on, and so it is now connecting to the router. Connected, the thing name is wistree 2, and we already have it in our dashboard here. So the temperature 31.9, humidity 65, random 10. It should show here in a moment. So yeah, so this is it. And how it is working is, this device is sending data to our WiseThings database server in cloud through that API calling, and the dashboard also calling the same database with this thing name wish2, and in return is receiving the last received data and showing it here. So you can see the 15-second cycle has started running on ESP32. Just remember to connect GPIO 16 to reset. Okay,